What's up, guys? So today with me I have here Caleb Roberts, and in this video we're going to be talking about how he was able to land his first $4,000 client within only a short 10 days after he joined my program. So it's going to be a quick interview where we're going to be sharing some tips and tricks how you can get started with your agency. So hey Caleb, can you introduce yourself? Tell us about your background. How did you start it? And yeah, let's get started.
That we make videos and wedding videos for people. And then I started getting into social media marketing because my clients would ask me to market their commercials or advertise them on different outlets, and I didn't know how, so I started to learn how to do it. And then once I learned how to do that, I then branched out into social media marketing with my production company.
Awesome. So it's a smart move because you can scale your it's has more scalability than just production company. So tell us where you were before you purchased my program, and where it took you and what you have learned so far.
So before, I had just started getting into social media marketing, and it's hard making the transition whenever you know one type of business, you don't know the other type and how it works client wise. So I had done like roofing leads before because I have friends who own roofing companies. I had done pest control leads or solar leads, and I wasn't getting the high quality leads people needed. So then they weren't, it was all just trials and it wasn't consistent clients. So then I wanted to just have one type of client where they would pay me a good amount of money and not just work on small businesses like chiropractors or car washes or anything like that, where they wouldn't have the budget. Because I had tried doing a restaurant the week before I bought the course, and they told me they didn't have a budget of more than like $200 a month, and I wasn't willing to do that. So then I all of a sudden wanted to then go into higher ticket marketing agency where I could then get a lot of budget and more money for the time I put into it. So then I started researching it, and I came across your course, and I had heard about it, and then I started researching it all and seeing if there's really anyone that knew as much as you did. And then I just kind of took the jump into the course because I couldn't find anyone who did know as much as you, because you could show your course outline, and he goes extremely into depth, like even into YouTube ads and Google ads, and people are selling courses just on that. So I was like, frick, I'll get my money back in no time just by learning how to do one high ticket niche.
What was like the biggest breakthrough like you had with the course? So I know you landed a $4,000 client, and which is, guys, an interesting story that Caleb was able to land his first $4,000 client within 10 days, and that client wasn't even a dealership. Can you elaborate on that? How did it happen? Which is my course specifically for dealerships, and how did it work out for you?
Yeah, so once I decided to take the course, I then like told everyone that I only do marketing for dealerships, and I was like, no, I can't do it for your business. I'm only going to do dealerships. I don't want cheap stuff. So then I watched all the videos and would finish them and then do all the homework. But then I had watched the sales process of a whole meeting. And then after I had 2 meetings with people where you basically give the script on how to do it, mm-hmm. I had kind of memorized the sales process from there, like a general memorization of it. And so then, because I had been telling people I'm only doing dealerships, I had someone refer me to a random person, and they're like, well, I told them that you could do social media marketing for them. And I was like, well, I need them to be worth my money. So do you think they have a big budget? And they're like, oh yeah, I think they have a pretty big budget. And so they gave them my phone number. They called me right away, and they're like, hi, Caleb, I just wanted to know what you can do for me. So then I just basically molded the sales process to what she needed. And it's like energy healing yoga type business. Like, she was like, I think I have like a $10,000 budget, and if you're worth my time, I can go that far. And I was like, cool, well, what do you need me to prove? And then we went over that, and all of a sudden I closed her over the phone, and it only took 30 minutes, and it was just the whole sales process, like proving yourself, proving what you know,
Did you follow
going
the
over the
script?
problem.
Did you follow the
Yeah,
script from the course? Awesome.
yeah, and so that's how it happened. I mean, it was weird how fast it happened, because the next day I like sent her the contract and she signed it, and it's been good ever since. And yeah, it was crazy.
Awesome. So, what do you think? What was the biggest thing that that helped you actually land this client that you learned from the course? What was the biggest something that you took?
So it was like focusing on the pain points. Mostly it was, she would tell me all of her problems, and then I would comment on them. And I was like, yeah, that is a pretty big problem. That's sucks that's happening. It'd be really good if you had someone who could do this, which is something I can do. And I wouldn't say that outright, but I just basically build up all the pain, and like what's gonna solve the problem. And then whenever she was like, I just don't know what to do, and I was like, I'll tell you. And then I was able to tell her that right at her most vulnerable point, where she wanted to know how to fix the problem. But then you don't like punch them with it, like, this is how much it'll cost you. Then you say, I can do that. And then you take it slow, and then you wait. I just waited for her to be like, well, if you can do all that, then what's the price? Because I'm willing to do that. She told me her budget and how we would move from 4,000 and up, like based on the performance of the ads. And so I was like, you know what? Well, I can do it for this much, but I don't usually do it for this much. But I will do it for you, because you're a new type of business. And it was I mean, if I watched all your sales calls that you did, and you did the same thing where that each person was a different deal, and depending on what they talked to you about, or if they even asked you for a discount, then you would or wouldn't give them one, or you would say like, I can do this, or you'd say, I don't really do this much, but I can do this for you as a favor. So then I use that same tactic basically.
So on the actual meeting after you closed her, so you needed to get her results, right? Because it's not a dealership niche, but it's still kind of high ticket clients. A high ticket client, pretty much $5,000 per month client with ad budget. And what's something you took from the course that helped you? I mean, regarding Facebook ads, YouTube ads, that helped you get her results.
So it was, what it is, it's more like course sales, and all she needed was emails for an email series. And so you taught me the value offer that you give people. So that helped me come up with the value structure of people willing to put in their email. I mean, it wasn't even as hard as getting a car appointment or test drive appointment. It was as easy as just signing up for an email, and it only took like 30 minutes to find out what that value offer was, what our audience was, and what I needed to target. So it was pretty easy just to move it over from the other, because that's what you basically teach if people want.
What would be something that you would, someone who just maybe starting out with the agency, they brand new, they just trying to figure out how to get the agency out of the ground, and something that they can, what the mindset they should have to get that, to stay on the rails, be focused, to get their first client. What are some of the tips you can give to someone who just, pretty much who just starting out? Or maybe if I rephrase my question, what would you tell yourself when you were just starting out, as in all this entrepreneurship, just like you start with your production company and social media marketing? What's some of the tips and advice you would give to you?
So I think that the hardest part about social media marketing is just the nervousness of trying to get a client and not wanting to be told no whenever you ask for a meeting. And I think it's extremely easy to get a meeting, but the way that I run it is I just go all out without any practice on the first go. So then it's my worst one. And it's probably like someone that I don't care if I lose or something like that. And I just go out, I'm like, okay. And then I pitch them and they say no. And I'm like, okay, the worst has already happened. Now I don't need to be afraid of anything. like that. Like on my first meeting, with a car dealership, they said no. They were interested and they liked it, but they didn't have the budget right then apparently, and I went way too fast throughout the whole thing. And it was just my first meeting, and I was just trying to get it over with. I was like, I don't even care if they get it or not. I just need to get through this meeting so then I can know what I did wrong. And then after that, every meeting after that was super easy because the worst had already happened. My fear of what could happen had already happened, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And that's mostly just how I do everything, is I just try and get the worst part of it over, because the worst thing people can say is no. So if you just chug along and then just get that first one, it's always the hardest. It's always like the most gut wrenching, and you're always the most nervous there, and you're like, okay, I hope this goes well, but just be willing to throw away the first one just so you can learn from that. If you get it on the first one, then great, that's awesome. But otherwise, be okay with failing the first time, or like just getting over the no.
Yeah, it's so, absolutely agree with you. It's so important to, make that first step, and not, and just go for it. No matter what will happen, even if you fail, if they tell you no, as long as you stay in the game, you already win, right? You already won. So as long as you don't quit, you already won, like the saying, right? So, and yes, at first it might not be everything will be excellent and everything will work out, but as long as you keep in the work and show up every single day, it eventually will happen. Just for Caleb, just within first 10 days, he was able to close his $4,000 client after he applied techniques and strategies from the program. And this is actually what possible if you just stay persistent and have this, have your clear goals defined, what is actually matters for you in life, and what do you want to actually get. So last question to you, Caleb, how people can find you, how people can follow you and learn more about you?
I would say just become my friend on Facebook.
Okay.
My Facebook's Caleb Maurice Roberts, and I'm the only one. So add me as a friend. I'm all up for that. I think Facebook's the best networking tool.
Yeah, it's super easy to connect. Yeah, I'll also leave his link under this video below. Thank you so much for watching. This was pretty quick interview. I hope you got some value of it. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe for more content for social media marketing agency, dealership content, and digital marketing overall. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, call my place the kingdom, 'cause I got what you need, hun, and we don't answer to no one.